What's going on, YouTube? Look at this background, though. This fucking background is gorgeous, bro. This is not a green screen. This is real. It's got it on cinematic. I saw a community post the other day about this guy who had a habit tracker, and he was feeling really bad because he wasn't completing the stuff on the habit tracker. And I wanted to share my story with habit trackers and how I feel about them. So what happened was, I remember this was only this year. I started using a habit tracker back in about, I think it was April, was like the first full month that I did a habit tracker. In the beginning, it was dope. You know, it was helping me complete the tasks that I had set out, and I was doing good. I was completing them all. And specifically the one that I got from like a plugin or whatever, and it had percentages and it had graphs and all this stuff. Like every time you check it off, it would automatically update the graph and automatically update the percentages and all that type of shit. It was cool in that way. But on the other hand, if you miss a day, if you miss a task on a certain day or whatever, it makes a drastic decrease in the graph. Like it'll be up, and then it'll be like, you know what I'm saying? Then it'll come back up if you do it the next day. And just little stuff like that. And so me as an overthinker, I wanted to get perfect every single time. And this is when I first started using the habit tracker, right? So I wasn't gonna be perfect all the time. And so it actually made me feel bad whenever I didn't complete every single thing on there. And then sometimes it would only be like 60 or 70%, but it makes it look like 70% doesn't look that good on a graph, you know, because it's a decent amount away from 100. Even though if you do 70% of your habit tracker, if you did 70% every day, you would do great. You know, you would have a great life. You would, like 70% is very good, honestly, especially if you do that every day. And so I was doing that, and it didn't make me feel good, even though I was getting most of the stuff done every day. And so that's why I actually stopped using it. I used it a little bit in May, but I think like halfway through May, I just stopped using it because it wasn't doing me any good. And then by that point, like right now, if I were to have a habit tracker, I would be getting like 80, 90, 100% every day, you know, because I've been very productive as of late, but I don't use the habit tracker because it's just in my head now and I just know what to do. So I personally don't use the habit tracker anymore, even though it is helpful to get the stuff that you need to get done onto a list so you can see it and like get used to doing it every day. But just that specifically, just the percentages and like keeping the check boxes and seeing some of them missed in certain days, like that makes it worse, because if you just go throughout the week and okay, you miss a couple things, 2 or 3 things a day, or maybe 1 to 2 things a day, you missed them, you know, it is what it is. But then you look back at your habit tracker and you see the things that you missed, and it's like, fuck, like I just wasted these days, whatever, and it doesn't feel good, you know. Whereas if you know that you did the stuff right, and you've been improving in your life, you've been doing good, and you know you've been doing good, you feel good, and you kind of forget about the shit that you didn't do. You kind of forget the one thing that you didn't do on Monday last week. You know, you forget about that. Like, who cares at this point? But if you have a habit tracker, then you see that missing checkbox, and you can never check it again because the time is gone. And so it keeps you extremely accountable. And so that is a benefit to it. But if you overthink it, and if you don't frame your mindset around it correctly, then it doesn't do as much help as it could. You know, especially for me, like I was just trying to check the box. I wasn't even doing the stuff exactly right or doing it to my fullest potential. I was just trying to check the box. And so that also, in my opinion, didn't help anything. So I will say that habit tracking overall, it does help in the beginning, especially if you're just trying to get the things organized and you're just trying to set up everything that you want to get done per day. But I don't know if you have to use it forever. You know, I used it as a little stepping stone into the next phase in my life, you know, to where I'm just kind of doing the shit naturally now. So I think that it has pros and cons. If you get to the point like where I'm at, like if you get to a point where you can consistently knock out 80s, 90s, 100s, then maybe it will be more beneficial. But when you first beginning, it'll hurt a little bit to see that you're not doing as well as you could do, especially for someone like me that's a perfectionist. And so I'm looking at it and I see 60, 50%, I'm like, fuck. Even though the most people in real life would not complete 50% every single day, not even 50. They'll probably get like 20 or 30% every day, you know? So 50, 60, 70% is actually really good. But if you are looking at it from a lens of out of 100%, then yeah, 50 doesn't look that good. So that's why it's just a reframe of mindset, honestly. So it just depends on how you want to do it. But yeah, that's my advice on habit tracking. Like you can do it, but once you get to a certain point, you really don't have to use it anymore. But to each his own, honestly. You know, everybody uses different tactics, different little methods and whatnot. That's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe, and peace out.